prophecy about the reigning period of King David is the core of the Bible that testifies about the second coming Christ. Recently, however, slanderers are trying to lure us with an absurd idea that Christ Ansanghong failed to fulfill the prophecy of King David, and their evidence is not trustworthy. So let us first study the prophecy about King David and then disprove their claims. David and Jesus are related prophetically in many ways. Just as David became king after being anointed at the age of 30, Jesus started to rule over the kingdom of the gospel after he was baptized, spiritually anointed, at the age of 30. Unlike David, who ruled for 40 years, Jesus lived a public life for just 3 years. That's because he had to come again to let us know the secret of the truth that was sealed. In order to fulfill the prophecy of the 40-year throne of King David, Jesus had to come again. When he comes again, he should be baptized at the age of 30 and fulfill the prophecy of the remaining 37 years. According to this prophecy, Christ Ansanghong was born in 1918, and according to the prophecy of the fig tree, telling the time of Christ's second coming, Christ Ansanghong was baptized in 1948 at the age of 30 when Israel became independent. After working for the gospel for 37 years, he ascended in 1985. Christ Ansanghong foretold through a magazine, Weekly Religion, published on March 18, 1981, that he would ascend. If there is a one who fulfills the prophecy of the throne of David, he will be Christ, who comes a second time. And Christ Ansanghong fulfilled the prophecy of David's throne. Therefore, Father Ansanghong is Christ, who came a second time, as the Bible testifies. Nevertheless, evil slanderers insist that Christ Ansanghong, who came again as King David, was not baptized in 1948, but in 1954. Let us find out why their insistence is wrong. First, the baptism record of the Seventh-day Adventist Church is not trustworthy, so it cannot be evidence supporting the baptism date of Christ Ansanghong. When you look at this record offered by the SDA, you can see that the number 23, Christ Ansanghong, was baptized in 1954. And the next person, number 24, Kim Young-suk, was baptized in 1925, 29 years earlier. If this record were true, they must have baptized in 1954 and then moved a long way back to 1925, 29 years earlier, in a time machine to baptize Kim Young-suk. So this is not trustworthy evidence proving the baptism date of Christ Ansanghong. As doubts were raised about the authenticity of the record, they changed the name of the book from the SDA baptism record to the church member record. They are making an excuse that the numbers are random and irrelevant to the baptism date because it's a church member record. But what they are doing is twisting words to their own advantage. If they want to verify their insistence, they have only to open the original baptism record for the year 1948 to the public, not the miscellaneous material that have complicated information irrelevant to the year of baptism. But they do not do so. This is sure evidence that substantiates Christ Ansanghong was baptized in the year 1948. The one thing we need to believe is the handwriting of Christ Ansanghong that he left for us because he knew that evil people would hinder us. What do we need more other than this? Believe in Christ Ansanghong, who came as David, and receive salvation.